All right, everybody. Season 2, episode 11. Here we go.
All right.
Things are getting saucy.
Right.
Only five undefeated teams left standing, Nikki.
That's right. A few of them went by the wayside on Saturday.
Three of them. Yes. Big week this week. Thought I'd wear my Bama, representing Bama and representing Chris Carter,
Right.
the old Buckeye.
Right.
This is Chris Carter with the Buckeyes is the big cokehead too, by the way. He's
Right.
into drugs.
As Buddy Ryan said, all he does is catch touchdowns.
Yes, he does. Once he got clean, he became really good. Buddy Ryan had to get him out of Philly, though. Send
Right.
the mini, and then he became a Hall of Famer right after that.
Yeah.
Rest is history.
Yeah.
Um, so after their beatdown of Penn State, I thought it was appropriate to wear it this week.
Very well done.
All right, so let's go, man. The Heisman's heating up as well. Everything's heating up. We're down to like the last third of the season, I guess, right? This is it.
Yeah, we're in
Three,
November. Yeah, we're it's moving right, rolling right along.
4 games left in the season for
Yeah.
most teams, for all teams.
Right. Hey,
Um,
speaking of Alabama, not to cut you off, but speaking of Alabama, so what is Vanderbilt now? What did you call them?
Vanderbilt is now the Alabama state champion.
That's right.
Fucking Vandy's unbelievable.
Right,
Auburn's dogs, though. I mean, they're like dogs with fleas.
right.
Hugh Freeze, he must have some pictures, right? On the admin at
Yeah, it's a tough
Auburn.
situation down
Tough
on the coast.
situation. He's worse than
Yeah,
Norvell.
right.
Jesus Christ. I mean, Vandy had I was so close to betting Vandy on the money line. It would have took some stones. I think they're at plus 380, plus 480 or something.
Yeah,
I almost dropped a C note on it. I was close, man, but
right,
I was like, Auburn's gonna show up. They're not gonna get embarrassed. I was wrong.
right,
All right, so Dylan Gabriel looks like the head-on leader right now, Nikki,
right,
for the Heisman.
right.
Um, what do you think? Him and Genty, I guess.
We're both going to see him play in person this weekend, so we'll have a full report next week. But
Yes, we will.
yeah, I mean, Michigan's defense isn't last year's Michigan's defense, but still, he was he hits about two-thirds of his throws. Had a touchdown running, touchdown passing.
Yeah.
He's tough, you know.
He's
He's a
tough.
very good
He's
player.
accurate too, and he doesn't seem to get sacked very much. He gets rid of the ball. He moves in the pocket very nicely. I like the kid, but it's his third school, so he just keeps bumping to a better situation, right?
Yeah,
Started at UCF, then where did he bump to after he went to Oklahoma? And then
right,
Oklahoma said they didn't want him. They wanted Jackson Arnold to start
right.
ahead of him. And so he moved on to Oregon, and he's just gotten better every place he's gone. Genty had 180 yards total between running and receiving, 2 touchdowns. He is running the ball a lot, though, right?
Right. He needs, I think he needs like Barry Sanders numbers at Oklahoma State in back in the day in 1988 to win
2,000
this.
plus.
Yeah, he needs like a numbers that nobody can look at and not give it to him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he
Rashawn
has that.
Salam when he had 2,000 yards, right, for Colorado.
Yeah,
I don't I don't think he plays in enough high-powered games to get it.
you're right.
It's unfortunate because I think social media and big TV contracts dictate that now. Travis Hunter was off for the week for Colorado, so we won't talk about him. Cam Ward from Miami, I think he might be right there as 1A behind Dylan. 400 yards and 500 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns. Yeah. Ooh.
5 touchdowns. I mean, it's unbelievable the stuff he does, man. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like video game like worthy. I mean, you watch him, you're like, what the hell is that? I mean, just crazy, crazy passes, right?
Right.
So like him a lot. I think it's a two-man race at this point, unless Genty goes for 300 yards in a couple of these games, right, or high 200s and gets to 2,000, then maybe we can talk about him.
Right.
All right, give us the playoff update, Nick.
Okay.
I
So
I did it based on the rankings because we couldn't wait for the committee at 7, so we're doing it now.
okay. So right. So We have eight, the Penn State Nittany Lions, playing the ninth seed, the Indiana Hoosiers. Raise your hand if you had them in the preseason to make the playoffs.
I did not.
Seven is the Texas Longhorns versus the 10, the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Good
in a
game.
rematch of a big game last year. Um, Number six is the Tennessee Volunteers against number 11 Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
That'd be a good game too.
And five is the Ohio State Buckeyes, Chris Carter's alma mater, your shirt against the Boise. 12 is the Boise State Broncos. And then the 1 through 4 seeds is the top seed is the Oregon Ducks, two is the Miami Hurricanes, three is the Georgia Bulldogs, and four is the BYU Cougars.
College football is better when the Canes are in the hunt, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
It's so good when Miami's in it. Like,
right,
they're sniffing it. And they probably get there. They still got the AC tournament, the AC final championship game, and that's to get in. So, all right. So this week we're gonna call the wrap up the frauds because there
right,
were some frauds and some of them teams I like, but they are who they are, man. Right?
right.
Um, I what? Oh, Penn State. I I I watched that game. Watched a lot of it. I don't get it. I mean, they get four times the goal line. The first three times they ran Katron Allen up the middle. Those were read options, right? Read pass option
Right,
RPOs. If Aller just keeps the ball on any of those three times, he walks in the end zone. By the way, because their defensive ends were pinching. He doesn't keep the ball any of the three times. Then he tries to throw some ridiculous pass, and that kind of cost him the game. I thought. I mean, you got to score there and tie it up. Franklin gets tight in these games, man.
yeah,
And Ryan Day, I mean, it's not like Ohio State played great either, but good enough, right? I mean, he was pretty excited they won too.
yeah.
What did you think?
He's got. I mean, gets paid a lot of money, but that's a tough place to coach.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm happy for Ohio State. I'm not a huge Penn State fan, so we'll leave it there.
All right,
Um, Miami blasted Duke. That game was tight though. Duke was up actually,
right,
right?
right,
31-28 or something.
right,
And then Miami just blew them out 21 or
right.
20.
Miami put up 21 points in like a blink of an eye.
Yeah. Uh, they're pretty good offensively. Defensively, they're terrible, and they're going to have a problem in the playoff with that defense. But
Right.
offensively, man, they can really put up some points. Um, SMU, man, they exposed Pitt. I'm really upset about this. I thought Pitt would play them tough. They got blown out. What do you say there?
It's just SMU. They only have the one loss to BYU in Dallas earlier this year, and they're just a better team than they were on. They've got a running back named Smith. I think he's from Miami or transferred from Miami. He's a great player.
Okay. Did Holstein play? I know
So
they said he might not
I
play.
think he played.
He did. Okay. All right. I mean, they scored some points. They just couldn't stop. They couldn't
Right,
stop SMU.
right,
Oregon. This game got a little. We've been talking about this thing for the last 2 years. How games are getting a little weird at the end, based on point spreads, based on lines, based on
right,
what's going on. So Oregon's up 14 points, right? Has the ball at like the 5 yard line with like 45 seconds left. Michigan has one timeout. They're not calling the timeout. They're cool. They're like, yeah, just let it run out. We'll lose by 14. Oregon runs the ball. Michigan stops them. So I'm thinking, all right, now they're going to kneel down. It's over, right? No. Oregon drills them again and scores to cover and win by 21 because the spread was 50 and a half.
right,
I thought, man, that's not a good look for Lanning, but I know Lanning doesn't give a shit about that.
right,
But man, I thought they were going to just sit on it. But they were pretty thorough in dismantling Michigan in Ann
right.
Arbor. Or you could talk to me about Indiana.
So the first time all year they were behind. They were behind 10-0, but never fear. No problem. They just ran off 47 straight points in
Google
East
me. I
Lansing.
win. I win.
Yeah,
They're unbelievable, man. They're drilling everybody. And the
right,
Ohio State game, it's going to be a good game. I don't think Ohio State drums them. I think it'll be close. I
right,
think Ohio State will beat them, but I think it'll be close.
right.
Is it in Columbus or Bloomington? I don't
You
know.
got me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't know if that makes a difference because Columbus, I mean, Ohio State will bring 20,000 fans to that game.
Oh
They don't
yeah.
give a shit. And then Mini, I thought Mini played really good. I watched some of that against Illinois because we had a financial vested interest in that game, and
Oh,
nothing.
did you?
Yeah, nothing. I mean, Mini looks pretty legit, man. They've run off four straight. They are really good on the defensive side of ball, and they can score some points, man. I know they played Penn State toward the end of the year. I think they're going to give Penn State a good game.
Yeah, Minnesota is a stout team. They're a big team.
Yeah,
They're both big on both lines. They got the running back Taylor. The
yeah,
quarterback's in from I think New Hampshire or somewhere like that.
he's
They're a
good.
tough team.
Brosmer, I
Right,
think is his name. And then Vandy.
right, mhm,
That's all. You just got to laugh, right? I mean,
right. The
they're
state, the
just better.
Alabama state champion.
Alabama state champion. They're just better than Auburn.
Right,
That's the only way to put it. Better coach, better players, better technique, better everything. So we'll just
right,
leave it there. Auburn's terrible.
right,
Um, Georgia, Georgia didn't look good, man. Again, they're
right.
like a second half team.
They're very lucky that Langway got hurt.
Yeah, you think they lose that if they does it?
I'm not, maybe, I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
um, the kid from Yale, he didn't play terribly,
Warner, I think was his
but
last name.
I don't
Warner.
know how much practice time he's had and all.
Yeah, he was just okay though. I mean,
Yeah,
he's just overwhelmed by Georgia's
yeah,
defense, man. I mean, come on. And now now here comes Ole Miss. At Ole Miss, I mean, Ole Miss hung 63 last week. They're no joke, you know. At Arkansas, they hung 63 on them. I mean, that's Lane Kiffin. He doesn't give a shit. He
right.
will hang it on anybody. Um, Clemson, I called that game. I said I didn't like it. You and Carter both love Clemson. I was like, I don't think so. And Louisville drummed them pretty good,
Oh,
man.
destroy, yeah, Louisville. That's the best game Louisville's played in a long time. They
Yeah,
played great.
yeah. And now SMU looks like they're the odds-on favorite to play Miami, right in the
Yeah,
ACC
that's what it's looking
championship
like.
game.
I mean, one way to look at Clemson is the two best teams they've played this year. They lost pretty bad. They lost
They got hammered.
definitively.
They got hammered, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Texas A&M. Now, I think they're a fraud, and they go into South Carolina. You
Yeah.
guys, you and Carter said, I think they're going to get beaten. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah,
Did
well,
you
if you don't know if good South Carolina will show up or bad South Carolina.
good Scout South Carolina shut up?
Yeah,
I watched that game. I was like, wow, they just better, more physical, faster,
right.
stronger. The crowd was intense at that game. That was a
Yeah,
loud atmosphere.
yeah,
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Shane Beamer's, but he had him up for that game.
right,
And Elko had no answers. And the backup quarterback is now their starter. Didn't look very good either. So, and defensively, they looked terrible. Another fraud, Iowa State. Matt Campbell loves to start out 7-8-0 every year.
right.
And every year they crumble in November, man. That's like his move. Lost to Texas Tech, who now is moving into the driver's seat, right in the Big 12. Are they like in contention for the Big 12?
The Big 12 has like every team has like even Okie State's in the basement, and
Yeah,
they're not like terrible,
right,
even though they haven't won a game in the league. They're like, they're not like terrible.
right, right.
So, yeah, I mean, the Big 12, anything can happen at any time. I
They're
mean,
only getting
Kansas
one
State
team
lost
in.
to Houston, right?
Yeah. They're only getting one team though, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then there's Florida State, which I told you, boys, they're done. Wrap it up. They're
Right.
finished. Got beat pretty bad at home against
Yeah.
UNC.
Yeah. North Carolina just
Yeah.
destroyed them.
So, all right, teams still standing. The Ducks, Miami, Indiana, BYU, and Army. They're all the only undefeateds left.
Right.
Um, you had another over 500. Nice week, Nick. 9-8. You're 88 and 87 for the year. Very nice. I went 9-10. I'm 106 and 87 for the
That's
year.
pretty good, man. Well
Yeah.
done.
And Carter 7-10 last week. The kid came
Okay.
off, he thought he knew a couple things, but you just
Right.
don't know. You don't know.
Right.
All right, let's start. First game, Duke Miami. We all like Duke, and they just about covered, but Miami punching a late
Right.
touchdown to cover.
Right.
Um, Ohio State, Carter liked Penn State. You liked the under, which you hit on. I liked the under and Ohio State. I double bet that I hit on both. That was a nice hit for me.
Good. Good. Well
Um,
done.
we all liked Illinois. They got beat 25-17 to Mini at home too. Jesus.
Right.
Me and you and Carter liked Ole Miss. You guys hit that. I liked Arkansas at home. They got throttled. Was it 63 to 31? Wow.
Right.
We all like Vandy. We all hit on that.
Yeah, that was the like the pick of the year. I mean, that was
I mean, getting
I
seven. Are
think we
you
all
kidding
said
me?
which team is better. I mean,
Oh no,
Vandy's a
Vandy's a
lot
better
better.
team, Nick. Vandy's better.
Yeah.
Don't mistake in that.
Right.
Um, me and you both like the under at 51 points, and it looked pretty good. But then Indiana woke up, and Carter hit that one, picking
Right.
Indiana to cover 7.5.
Right.
Um, I like Michigan. You liked Oregon, and Carter liked Michigan as well. And Oregon ended up covering with that late touchdown. Very suspect.
Right.
K-State, 13 and a half point favorites and get beat by Houston. Houston's not very good either. Houston's terrible. You took the
Right.
under, which hit. Carter took the over, which didn't, and I took K-State, which did not.
Right.
Um, you and Carter took Georgia. I
Yeah,
took
Carter,
Georgia.
I let him talk me into that.
Yeah, and none of us hit on that.
Right.
I mean, Georgia was close to covering, but they called off the dogs at the end. I think they could have got one more late touchdown.
Right.
Um, FSU, FSU at home against UNC. We all took UNC, and you also took the under, which also hit. Very
Sweet.
nice.
Excellent.
Um, Arizona State at Oklahoma State. I didn't see this. I took Okie State at home. You took the under, which didn't hit either. And Carter took the over 42-21. He said they'd both be high scoring. He was right. Clemson, Louisville. I'm the only one who took Louisville. You both took Clemson. They lost 33 to 21.
Yeah, it was worse than that.
Yeah. The pick of the week, Iowa, and I took the over because everyone always takes Iowa in the under, and that double hit for me again. You hit
Beautiful.
Iowa,
Beautiful. Good work.
and Carter went under because it's Iowa, and that didn't happen.
Right.
I said Iowa's been scoring points, man. The under's not
Yeah, they
really
have
play
scored.
with them.
Yeah, you're right.
Their offense is finally woken up.
Right.
Both of you guys loved USC going to Washington. I said, I don't think so. Remember that? I was like,
Right.
I
Right.
like you,
I
Dub.
vaguely remember this.
At home, 26-21.
Right.
You love South Carolina. Carter loved South Carolina. I love the crowd noise. Love that they were going to play better. I loved A&M. I was wrong. That was a beatdown, 44 to 20. And then Kentucky, we all took Kentucky. And they covered, right? Yeah,
Right.
16 and a half, right. Kentucky covered 16 and a half. That was
Right.
nice. They lost 28-18 to Tennessee. Tennessee's a fraud too, man. I'm
Right.
gonna see what happens. Who they got somebody this week? I know they got Georgia coming up, right? They
Right.
got somebody tough coming up that they're gonna get beat by. All right, and then the last game, You like the under, went over.
It went
I
over
like
big.
Carter liked the under also, and I like Pitt, and Pitt got throttled, man. I
Right,
don't
we'll
know.
just forget all about that game.
Yeah. But the lock of the week hit with Iowa, Nick. Nice job. 5-5 now on the lock.
Right. And that
Nothing.
was you and Carter had Braun had a hand in that too.
Yeah, I mean Iowa. It looks so easy from afar, but games look easy from afar. I mean, Pitt
Right,
gets 7.5. I was like, yeah, that's a slam dunk. No, I no, that didn't happen.
right,
Well, Louisville getting 10.5. That 10.5 on the road as a road underdog and beats them by 12. That's embarrassing for Clemson
right.
when you look at the line on that. All right, so this week we're ready to go.
Ready to go. Ready to roll, baby.
Let's do this. Um, Thursday night, Appy State getting one at Coastal Carolina.
I'll take Coastal at home.
Coastal at home, CC. They're a 1 point favorite, right? At home.
Yep.
I will also take a good pick. Iowa, 6.5 point favorites on the road. Home underdog UCLA, who looked really good this last week. I watched some of that game.
I think Iowa is I'm gonna take Iowa giving the 6.5.
Okay. I am not. I think
Okay.
UCLA's found something. I
Okay.
think they may lose this game, but I think this is going to be a tight game. I
Okay.
like UC, and the travel thing is a thing for me.
Right.
Iowa's coming across the country, and I do think that UCLA's found something. They look good, man. They look good
Yeah.
on Saturday. Miami, 11 point favorites, another home underdog at Georgia Tech.
Um,
64 is the over under. Big number.
Maybe I'll go under 64 because it's pretty tall. It's a pretty tall number.
Okay. And I'm gonna go Georgia Tech here to keep this close. Florida, 21.5 at Texas.
I guess this is because the quarterback's injured and they're going with the transfer Warner from Yale.
Yeah.
Um, I
48 is the over under.
Maybe I'll go with the under.
Under here again?
Yeah,
And I'm gonna go with Texas in a beatdown. Even though Florida's defense is really good, I
right.
think they're gonna be on the field a lot and they're gonna
And
be
they're going to
tired.
be tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. You know what? You're right, man. You're right. I'm going to go with the over there. Sorry about that.
Over?
Yeah, over.
Okay. Mini, 6 point favorites, home underdog Rutgers.
Oh boy. Um,
Rutgers looks like they're falling apart. A lot of injuries.
yeah, I
I
think
was
I'll take the under there.
the under.
Under
Okay.
46.5.
I was at a funeral this weekend for
Oh, sorry.
a family, a Rutgers family. A couple kids went there. Father went to Rutgers, and we were talking about Rutgers football team. They said they're like deep in injuries, a lot going on with the program. They're still high on Shiano, but they think that their season's kind of crumbling. They think Maryland's going to kill them too next week. I was like, wow, okay, good. We could use that win. They think they may make a bowl game, but they're thinking they may lose out actually. And I'm gonna take Minnie there on the road, Nick. I think Minnie's playing really stout, man. They won
Okay.
at Illinois, tougher place to play than at Rutgers, and I think they go in there and
A
beat
good way
Rutgers.
to look at it.
Yeah. Navy, 3.5 point favorites at South Florida. Another home underdog, man. Jesus, a lot of home
Um,
underdogs.
the South Florida, their coach got into it with the coach Tom Herman from Florida Atlantic last week.
He did. He called them soft.
Um,
That's
I'll
funny.
go with shoot. I'll go with Navy there.
Navy on the road.
Yeah.
I will also go with Navy. Yeah, I like Navy there. Okay. Iowa State. Speaking of frauds, at Kansas, 3-point favorites, another home underdog.
Boy, this is a tough game to pick. Um, I'm going to go with the Cyclones and lay the 3 points.
Okay. I will go with the under there. I think both teams are pretty inept offensively. Clemson, 6.5-point favorites, another home underdog at Virginia Tech. What Clemson team's going to show up, Nick?
Yeah, I
At
mean,
Tech, tough place to play.
um, Virginia Tech, they lost to Syracuse right up in the Carrier Dome or the whatever it's called dome.
Yeah, they were up 21. They lost 20. They gave up 21-point lead. They
I'll go
did.
with Clemson laying the 6.5.
I will not. I will take
Yeah.
Virginia Tech coming back home. I think they're so much better at home than they are on the road, man. They're a really good home team and not a very good road team. Michigan getting 14 at Indiana. You going to bet
Um,
against Indiana? You willing to do that?
so finally, Indiana's a double-digit favorite. Finally.
Yeah,
Uh,
14. Michigan has no offense, man. I mean, their offense is run
yeah,
Mullings, run Orgy, and hope that other quarterback of theirs completes a pass. Man, they got that great tight end. They're just like wasting him.
right.
Loveland, I think is
What do
his
you
name.
like here? What do you think?
I really like Indiana here another beatdown. I just think they're kind of a team of destiny, Nick. And
All
Michigan
right.
doesn't have a lot. I mean, if Michigan had anything, I would take them, but they don't have shit. And they're on the road. The Indiana crowd is starting to get into it.
I'm going to take the under here.
Under, okay. Now we're getting some saucy games here.
Right.
Georgia, 2.5-point favorites at Ole Miss, home underdog, 55 points over under.
I'm going to go with the Bulldogs here.
You are.
Yeah.
You don't think Ole Miss is going to show up?
No, they're going to show up. I mean, they're a tough team, but I think Georgia's best is a little better than Old Miss's best, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm going to also take Georgia, and I'm going to double bet this with the over.
All right.
I think it's a high scoring affair. Colorado, 3.5-point favorites at Texas Tech, another home underdog. Unbelievable how many home underdogs there are.
Um,
What do you say?
I think Colorado. They had the week off. They
They
should be,
did.
.
They did. But Tech just got them beating Iowa State. Remember that.
Right.
At Tech, I'm going to take Colorado here too. I think they're playing really good football, man. The week off really always helps toward the end of the season when the injuries are mounting a little bit, and get a
Right.
little rest. Temple getting 26.5 at Tulane.
I'm going to go with Temple here.
You are.
Yeah.
I am going to take Tulane. I hate to do it because I love Temple. I love my boy, but they're
Right.
they're terrible. Tulane's actually pretty good.
Right.
Okay, South Carolina, 3.5-point favorites at Vandy. Oh, the disrespect.
Right.
The dis was 46 over under.
Um, Again, you never know what you're going to get with South Carolina. It could be bad South Carolina. I'll say bad South Carolina shows up and take Vandy.
I will also take Vandy. I don't bad or good. I think Vandy's a good team, man. I think they'll if they lose, it'll be by a field goal and some freakish play at the end. And or they beat him because Pavia is hard to stop, man. That quarterback of theirs, he's pretty good.
Right.
All right, game that we are actually attending this week,
That's right. We're taking the show on the road, baby.
taking the show on the road. Oregon, Maryland getting 25 at Oregon, 57 and a half over under.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Maryland getting 25.
A lot of points.
Right,
Um, and being the road trip game, did some research. We're going to hit a little wine country. We're going to hit the beach. We're going to try to make a weekend of it, Nick. Have
right,
some cocktails. We have a tailgate lined up with Terp, Terp Town Hall. Ben Page runs that.
right.
Booze, food, 10 to 3 p.m. It's going to be crazy. He sold out 74 tickets in the first day that he posted it for the
Good.
tailgate. So he said they're over 100 now. They're going to show up there, which is pretty incredible considering it's 3,000 miles away.
Right.
So looking forward to that. I, man, I have heartburn about this. I really want to pick Maryland, but I can't.
Okay.
Business is business, Nick. You
Right.
know that.
War's war, but business is business.
I'm going to take Oregon there, laying the 25. Um, Florida State getting 26 at Notre Dame. It's a boatload of points.
I don't know what the weather's gonna be like. I gotta take Florida State here with 26 points.
Yeah, I will not. I think ND kills them. Florida State's just a bunch of bums. They've
Right.
given up on the season, man. All right, game of the week here, Nick. Let's go. Alabama lane 3 at LSU. This,
Man, if any time I can get 3 points at LSU in the Tiger Den at night, I'm taking it. LSU.
wow. I am not. I'm gonna
Okay.
roll with Tide, and I'm also gonna take the under. Double bet this. I think this will be a tight, low-scoring affair. Washington, 13 and a half at Penn State. They're getting 46 is the over-under. Washington looked really good last week, beating USC.
I'm gonna take the under there.
Okay. Does Penn State have a bounce back game in them here, Nick?
I think so.
I'm going to take UW. I don't think they do. I don't know if they lose, but I think this game will be pretty tight. And then we got final game of the week, BYU, 4-point favorites at Utah for the Mormon Championship.
Right. The Holy War.
The Holy War, yes. Utah has been terrible this year.
Right.
I'm not even sure how they're only a 4-point underdog. I'm going to take BYU here because BYU gets up for every game. They
Right.
play everybody tough, and Utah's not very good. I think they throttle Utah. 41 and a half over under.
Right.
Utah desperately wants to be in that playoff. They know they can't lose. You like Utah, don't you? Just take it. Just
No,
do
I
it.
like BYU here. I like the Cougars.
You like BYU.
Yeah.
All right, so do I. And then what do we got for the lock of the week, Nick?
I think we're gonna take BYU. I mean, I think the line is only 4, but I think they're a lot better team than Utah is.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree, man. I mean, are you kidding me?
Right.
And that's, you get to pick that. I have to try to influence you, but I mean, I'm looking through the board.
Thank God you influenced me. You saved me, man. Otherwise, you'd be like
We're,
0
we're
and
5
2,
and 5, man.
0
We're
and
not
8.
doing great.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of that game, I'm looking through the board. Maybe Mini at Rutgers. I think that's going to be pretty handily handled. And then, but that's it. I mean, it's a tough week for picking a lock.
Right.
But I think you picked the right team here.
All right. Let's hope so.
All right, and then our last segment, the RIP, man. What do we
Okay.
got?
Okay, so fortunately, no one passed away. No one on the, the sports radar passed away this week. So we're
Correct.
going to do someone who's very famous who passed away earlier this year,
Yep.
and that's the Los Angeles Lakers, Jerry West. I guess he had part of his career in the front office with the Memphis Grizzlies, but he'll always be recognized as with the Lakers. Um, he's from West Virginia. He led West Virginia to the NCAA final, I
Yep.
think in 1959. I don't think he ever played a bad game in his life.
The logo,
Um,
as he's known as.
yeah, the logo, Zeke from Cabin Creek, and what was the other one? Mr. Clutch,
Yeah,
you
Mr. Clutch,
know.
right. I don't know if you've seen the Lakers thing. HBO did a thing on the Lakers. Have you seen that? It's called Showtime.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know. I haven't seen it.
They made him look like a total clown on that show. I felt really bad for him. They make
Yeah,
him look like a total psycho who can't watch a game because he's afraid they're going to lose, and he can't watch the Celtics live because they broke his heart so many times in the '60s. I mean,
right.
it goes on and on. I was at the Greenbrier, which is a resort in West Virginia, um, which I think either he has a piece of the action there, Jerry West has part ownership or something, because he's plastered all over the place. And I ate at his steakhouse. He has, I guess, a chain of steakhouses in West Virginia, and it was really good. And they had all his memorabilia on the walls. It was very nice, man. They did a good job with that. I mean, what I don't remember much about him because he stopped playing what early '70s, right?
Yeah,
Mid '70s. I remember
right,
him as a GM, the guy who built the Laker dynasty. I mean,
right, right.
he drafted,
Kobe Bryant.
Worthy. He
Yeah,
drafted Magic, right?
right.
Kobe Bryant traded for Kobe. He didn't draft him,
Yeah,
traded for Kobe.
yeah,
Hornets drafted him.
yeah,
Traded for Kobe. Signed Shaq, which when
yeah,
he signed Shaq, he said it was the greatest day of my life.
yeah.
That's when you know a guy's a lifer. He has kids, he has a marriage, he has a wife, he has
Right,
other interests, but he said that was the greatest day of his life when he signed Shaquille O'Neal.
right,
Um, just just knew how to put a team together, man.
right,
I mean, brought in Rambis. Nobody wanted Rambis, but Rambis had a purpose on that team, right? He was the
right,
henchman on those teams.
right,
Kept Norm Nixon as long as he could, but until he drafted Byron Scott, who replaced Norm seamlessly, right? I mean, you look at those teams. Kept Kareem playing for all those years. Traded for Kareem from Milwaukee. I mean,
right,
it just goes on and on. His legacy as a GM is, I think, where the legacy's at. I mean, obviously, the player, he's a Hall of Famer in both jobs. Let's just say
right,
that.
right.
So that's what I
Yeah,
remember
you're
about him.
right. He's in the Hall of Fame in three capacities.
Is he really?
Yeah, player, Olympic player,
Oh, right, right.
and front office.
He was on the '60 Olympic team, right?
Right.
Would Bill Russell was on that team too?
I think I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I think he was on that
Uh,
team. So that's what I remembered. I think he died this summer, right? This last
that's right, in
summer. So it's
July.
good that nobody did pass away this year, but God bless his family. Hope he's okay. The
Right,
family's doing okay, and he'll be missed. I
right,
know the Lakers will miss him. I know he
right.
went to
Mr.
Memphis,
Clutch.
but when he was at Memphis, Memphis was good actually. He drafted
Right,
some good players.
right.
All right, man. That was a good week. Good
All
show.
right,
I'll see you Thursday morning.
all right.
I'll be
Us
rolling in at
next time we talk will be
1:30
Pacific time.
Pacific time. We're rolling in at 1:30 in the Eugene. I can't wait. Should be a
Right.
ton of fun and looking forward to making do some shenanigans in Eugene this week, man.
Yep,
It's gonna be a blast.
I agree.
I'll see you in a couple days.
Okay, take care.
See
Safe
you, buddy.
travels.